vegan Wendy's saucy nugs recipe. Y'all, this was so bad. Let's get into it. Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. So we are hopping right on in, baby, and as you can see, I'm shredding up a king oyster mushroom. And baby, I shredded this one mushroom and I realized like I could put this in the food processor. So I ended up just cutting up into some smaller pieces my king oyster mushrooms, and then I also opened a can of chickpeas. Now I am using 1 can of chickpeas. I'm gonna go ahead and wash them. I'm using 2 packs of the king oyster mushroom. I'm gonna go ahead and give those a nice little wash under some hot water, and then I'm going to add those to my food processor. After I add the chickpeas, I'm gonna go ahead and add the mushrooms. As I said, I broke them up with my hand in smaller pieces. You can cut them, whatever. The food processor is gonna do the work. So just go ahead and add them. You wanna go ahead and season them up. I use some salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and also some poultry seasoning. And of course you can add whatever type of seasonings you like, but those is what I added. So I added the top to the chickpeas and mushrooms, and then I gave them a nice little pulse. I am using the dough setting on my Ninja, and I'm gonna go ahead and add some things. So I'm gonna be adding 6 tablespoons of plant milk and 6 tablespoons of flour. You're welcome to use any type of flour. I'm just using white flour. Give it a nice little pulse on the dough setting again, and this is what it should look like a nice little ball of dough. So we're gonna also make a wet mix and a dry mix. So for the wet mix, I'm going to be using some flour. I'm going to season it up with the same seasonings. I will be adding some Creole seasoning this time to the mix, and just add some of that plant milk and give it a good mix. Now, when you're making your batter, you want it to be a little bit thick, but not thick like pancake batter, but you don't want it to be too runny. Okay, this is the type of batter that I started with. This was the thickness, this was the texture. Like I said, not too thick. For our dry batter, we're going to be using some breadcrumbs. I'm going to also season my breadcrumbs up with the same seasoning, some salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. I'm going to add some poultry seasoning. I did add some more Creole seasoning. I added some paprika and also some Italian seasoning as well. Remember, the ingredients will always be listed down in the description. Now back to our little chickpea mixture. I'm going to go ahead and grab some, the size of the nugget, however big you want your nuggets to be. Now I recommend making these not too thick because you don't want it to be just too much in the middle and crunchy on the outside, because they do become very crunchy. So I'm gonna make mine about the size that I feel like a Wendy's nugget is. Okay, that's how it came out. I'm gonna continue to go ahead and just press these out. This mixture makes anywhere from, I would say, about 20 to 25 nuggets. I didn't make all of mine. I actually put some in the refrigerator for storage for the next day because my baby did love them. So I decided I wanted to make him some fresh for the next day. After I have all of my nuggets made, I'm going to go ahead and dip one nugget into the wet mix, and you want to completely coat this. Now, because they are kind of soft, they were not falling apart, but I didn't want to actually just flip it, so I put the batter on top of the nugget, and then I put it over into our seasoned breadcrumb mixture and just give it a little shake. You want to make sure that the breadcrumbs are completely coating the nugget. Now, I did realize that during this process, the nugget became kind of like 2 times larger. If you can't tell, this is a little bit bigger than what I wanted them to be. So I decided to add a little bit more plant milk to my wet mix to make it a little bit thinner so that the batter won't be so thick. And in this instance, I was able to go ahead and flip it without worrying about breaking the actual nugget, and then dipping it into the breadcrumb mixture. And once I coated it with the breadcrumb mixture, it didn't turn out as large. So you probably want to make your wet mix a little bit runny. Once I I was done battering them up, I lined them up on the baking sheet. As you can see, the top row is a little bit bigger than the nuggets that are on the second and the third rows. That's exactly what I was saying about it came out a little bit bigger. And I like mine just like the bottom and the middle rows. So anyway, we're gonna put these in the oven for about 25 minutes or until they're crispy. I did flip them halfway through, and I did add some grapeseed oil. I would recommend spraying them down with oil before you put them in the oven, but I didn't have any spray, so I decided to do this halfway through, which it was perfectly fine. After they come out of the oven and they are crispy to your liking, we're gonna go ahead and make the sauce. So I made a hot honey sauce, which I am using red hot buffalo and some agave. I'm also gonna use some extra seasonings and stuff, which is a secret because I might use it in my restaurant one day, so I can't tell y'all. But give it a nice little mix. I also ended up making some honey barbecue as well. I just used Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce and added some agave to that. So next you want to take your nugget, and like I said, they are very crispy, and just flip them around in the sauce until they are completely coated. Now I did end up pairing mine with some vegan ranch. I will make sure to drop that recipe down below, but y'all have got to try this. My baby enjoyed them, I enjoyed them. To me, they were a 10 out of 10, baby. They buzz. So this is what they look like after I plated them up. Y'all make sure to try this recipe. Comment down below if you're gonna try it. I do want to thank y'all so much for watching until the end of this video. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.